Well, good morning from Pearson Airport. It's 10:40 on Monday morning. I am headed to Seoul, South Korea today. A couple of quick observations about my experience here at Pearson. I was in Buffalo on the weekend and came back to Toronto last night. Stayed at a hotel in Mississauga, west of the airport. Caught a shuttle over here at 10 o'clock. Arrived on the airport property about 10:15. And in 15 minutes, I got off the bus and made my way right to the gate. So it's pretty quiet here midday. I guess maybe that's normal for these international departures because a lot of flights go later in the day. I fly to Seoul at 1:20 this afternoon, so I'm plenty early. I have time to work here. It's kind of an observation. I actually come to the airport early now. I know a lot of people try to time it to the last minute, but I find once I get inside, there's places to eat and drink. I can get free Wi-Fi, I can work and stuff like that. So I don't mind being here a couple hours before the flight departs. It's better than the stress of worrying about getting caught in something. I'm also a firm believer in Murphy's Law, that the earlier I show up at the airport, the faster it'll be. Conversely, if I show up at the last minute, there'll be some hiccup somewhere. So I know that Pearson had a lot of problems over the last few months. Post-COVID and restarting and staff shortages and all that kind of stuff, but it feels pretty normal here today. I'd say 20% of the people are wearing masks. I know that's increasing and will probably increase over the coming weeks, but other than that, it seems pretty normal. My trip, I'm actually going to Vietnam is my primary destination. Going to be there for a couple of weeks. To research two tours, one that I'm going to offer about a year from now, which will be one of my normal small group walking tours through Vietnam for a couple of weeks. And the second one I'm researching is in June of 2024. I'll be going to Vietnam with a group of Rotarians. So some of you may know that starting next year, I'm offering tours that connect with Rotary International's annual convention. So Rotary International has an international convention every year, the end of May, beginning of June. Switches from city to city. This past year it was in Houston. Next year in 2023 it's going to be in Melbourne, and the following year it's going to be in Singapore, 2024, and 2025 is actually in Calgary. So for Melbourne and Sydney, Travel Maven and working with the Haliburton Rotary Club, we're doing a pre-tour and a post-tour. So next year for Melbourne, we're doing a pre-tour to New Zealand and a post-tour to Eastern Australia. The following year, I'm going to do a pre-tour before Singapore to South Korea on the way over, and then one in Vietnam afterwards. So that's why I'm going to Vietnam. I have been there before. I like it a lot, but I need to get back and see what's open, what's closed. Fortunately, one of my former graduate students from when I was teaching in South Korea, she's Vietnamese. Her family's in the travel industry, and she works in the travel industry now. So she's going to help me put something together for Vietnam. I'll hopefully be back in a couple of weeks. As it cools off here in Ontario, I'm looking forward to some warm weather. And we'll start posting updates, kind of longer videos like this on my YouTube channel rather than on Facebook. So if you're seeing this, obviously you found it, and there'll be more to come in the next couple of weeks.